Hi, everybody. This is Lee McQueen talking once more about public affairs and issues of the day. And I had created previous videos referring to the Green Party and how there comes a time when it's necessary for a third party to rise up and spoil a sick, diseased, corrupt political system. And I believe that even when the third party rose to spoil the institution of racial slavery back in the 19th century, it is now time to spoil again. It's 2016, and it's time for a third party to spoil again. And this time, it's not racial slavery, it's class slavery that needs to be spoiled. Wage and debt slavery. And the reason why it's become so urgent and crucial this year is the fact that we have two upcoming trade deals that will pretty much finish off what NAFTA has already started. NAFTA was the first step into sending us, the citizens, into debt and wage slavery through the overreach of large corporations who give no care or concern about worker rights and labor standards. And NAFTA, of course, was brought to us in the United States by Bill and Hillary Clinton. We've come to a point where we're headed over an abyss. And this is with the Transpacific Partnership and the other agreement, which is the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership. So the TPP and the TTIP both have a potential to cause a severe crisis in terms of the workforce, leading us down a path towards slavery again. We can head it off at the pass. Unlike with NAFTA, when we were basically seduced by Bill and Hillary Clinton into thinking this is a great thing and we'll all get rich and, it will be paradise and we'll, skip around and sing la la la. It wasn't like that. You look at Flint, Michigan, and that tells you what NAFTA brought us. TTP or TPP and then TTIP will bring us something much worse. What you see in Flint, you can just multiply that times the city that you live in. That's what's going to happen. The water quality in Flint, the fact that it was known that the water was being poisoned by lead and no one made a move to stop it. What happens in Flint, what happens in Detroit, multiply that times your city. The construction standards of the dams and locks in New Orleans that submerged the city of New Orleans during Hurricane Katrina. Multiply that times the city that you live in, construction standards. Unrestrained fracking, poisoning of our groundwater, causing seismic activity leading to earthquakes. Multiply that times the city that you live in. This is what Transpacific Partnership and TTIP are going to bring us. And no oversight, no government regulation. Genetically modified organisms in the food, antibiotics in the food, hormones in the food, pesticides in the food. No regulation. If Monsanto decides it wants to curate monster food for you to eat, poison food for you to eat, no government protection. The government tries to step in and regulate Monsanto. Monsanto sues the government. The government doesn't sue Monsanto. Monsanto sues the government for messing with its bottom line. Anything that messes with its bottom line, it will sue our government. And protecting us would mess with Monsanto's bottom line. That's what TPP and TTIP will bring. No regulations, no consumer protection, no labor standards, nothing. If the government tries to regulate and provide consumer protection, the corporation will sue the government in international tribunals, not our court system. Car manufacturers making defective cars with machinery that's defective on the inside, causing death. No regulations. There's nothing you can do. You try to hold these car manufacturers responsible, they sue the government. You mess with the car manufacturer's money, their bottom line, they sue the government. The government throws you under the bus. Hillary Rodham Clinton crafted the Trans-Pacific Partnership while she was at the State Department. This is known. What is not known is the specifics, the level of her involvement, the additional dirty details regarding Trans-Pacific Partnership that she was involved in. Barack Obama has issued court orders to conceal and suppress her correspondence regarding the Trans-Pacific Partnership. There's been Freedom of Information Act requests, but again, Barack Obama stepped in to conceal and suppress that information, and it will not be available until after the general election, November 31st of this year. And so Barack Obama is cooperating in protecting Hillary Clinton and not allowing this open request for scrutiny of the Trans-Pacific Partnership and her involvement with it and the implications for us if we elect her, make her the Democrat nominee and then elect her to office. We won't know what she has planned around Trans-Pacific Partnership until after she's elected. She's telling us that she's not for Trans-Pacific Partnership, but, you know, do you believe her? And if there's nothing to worry about, why did it take a court order to conceal her emails regarding this issue? What are they hiding? If there's nothing to hide, if there's nothing to see, if it's no big deal, then show it to us. As a matter of fact, Barack Obama is lobbying hard for Trans-Pacific Partnership. He's making the talk show circuit, trying to lobby Congress and convince people that Trans-Pacific Partnership is this great thing, that it'll bring the world together, that it'll make us all brothers and sisters. Britain is not having it. Well, not the Trans-Pacific Partnership, because it involves the Asian Pacific Rim nations and New Zealand and Australia and places like that. But there's the TTIP, which is very similar in scope to Trans-Pacific Partnership, very much overreaching, written by corporations, for corporations, by corporations, with the assistance of Hillary Rodham Clinton, and who brought us NAFTA. And Britain's already said, no, we do not want to be involved with this whatsoever. But we have our own president working against the citizens of the United States. He's trying to build support for the Trans-Pacific Partnership in Congress. He wants to bring the Trans-Pacific Partnership to the floor of Congress, either this summer or during the lame duck session after the election. And as we've seen by what has been leaked by Anonymous and Julian Assange and different people, that there's a collusion between mainstream media and the Democrat National Party to send large corporations to send Hillary Clinton against every protest, every vote otherwise, into office, so she can basically have her way and do whatever she wants. And what she wants is the Trans-Pacific Partnership, among other things. And this is just going back to show the ambivalence of the Democrat Party. The base of the party, the environmentalist groups, the community activists, the human rights groups, nonprofit groups, people who care about people, they do not want Trans-Pacific Partnership. Neither do they want fracking. Unfortunately, well, and labor groups too. Let's put labor groups in there too. They are against the Trans-Pacific Partnership and fracking. But we have Democrat Party leaders who are bought and bossed by large multinational corporations. We have Representative Barbara Lee, who I claimed wasn't bought and bossed, but she, along with Representative Luis Gutierrez of Illinois, voted to keep the Trans-Pacific Partnership and fracking as part of the platform of the Democrat Party. They both participated in writing and drafting that document that includes Trans-Pacific Partnership, and then also voting to maintain support for Trans-Pacific Partnership and fracking as part of the Democrat Party platform. And we can also throw in State Representative of Ohio, Alicia Reese. So Barbara Lee of California, Luis Gutierrez of Illinois, and then Alicia Reese, State Representative of Ohio, all voted to maintain language for Trans-Pacific Partnership in a Democrat Party platform, as well as fracking, over the protests of the base of the Democrat Party, which does not support either of these. And I named these three in particular because they are elected officials. Barbara Lee represents California, Luis Gutierrez represents Illinois, and then Alicia Reese represents Ohio at the state level. And I specified them because their districts lean liberal. California was very much responsive to the platform of Bernie Sanders, which is anti-fracking and definitely anti-Trans-Pacific Partnership, as well as Illinois, as well as Ohio. Bernie Sanders won much support, came from behind to either match or tie, and likely won these districts where these representatives these representatives represent. But, you know, with our voting system, which is another story altogether, an entire other video, that vote was suppressed. So he at least broke even in many of these districts, and he possibly won. We'll find that out after the racketeering lawsuit goes through. So do the constituencies of Barbara Lee, Luis Gutierrez, and Alicia Reese support Trans-Pacific Partnership and or fracking? The answer is no, they do not support these issues. So why did they approve that language in the Democrat Party platform? Well, rather than represent their districts, they decided to represent Barack Obama, the president, which is not their job. They are not representatives of Barack Obama, neither are they representatives of Hillary Clinton. They were put into office to represent the people in their district. Hillary Clinton has systematically corrupted the Democrat Party leadership to the point that they don't even know why they're in office anymore. It's just beyond them what they were put there to do, and so possibly they need to be reminded. And this corruption of the representatives, the congressmen, the senators, different, party leadership in the Democrat Party, is almost inevitable because you look at the leadership, and right now, despite the fact that Bernie Sanders did win this primary election, they're looking at Hillary Rodham Clinton as for leadership, and she is flawed. She is a corrupt human being, and she has brought her corruption with her. It follows around over her like a cloud. That's what corruption is. Everywhere she goes, corruption follows, and it rains down on everyone who gets near her. Hillary Rodham Clinton mishandled top secret, classified, confidential, code-worded special access program, eyes only information at the State Department. She exposed Brian Pagliano, possibly other State Department employees who did not have the clearance to that eyes only information that was on her email server. And it wasn't even supposed to be on her email server. I'm going to leave a link in the description where Judicial Watch outlines in detail the many ways in which Hillary Clinton violated information handling protocols at the State Department. She possibly exposed all of that top secret classified special access program eyes only information to Guccifer, possibly to Russia, China, ISIS. Anyone who visited her server without being sworn to be cleared to actually view what was on her server, that violated security protocol. It violated laws, actually. The veterans for veterans of various intelligence agencies have also written a letter and outlined the various ways in which Hillary Clinton has broken the law. There seems to be some debate, but as more information is revealed, we're finding that she did indeed break laws. She violated Executive Order 13526. She violated Federal Code 18, Section 793F. She violated the Federal Records Act, the Freedom of Information Act, possibly the Espionage Act. Not only that, she chose to conceal evidence. She spoiled evidence. She obstructed justice. And then she also has possibly committed perjury. The State Department was also visited by that cloud over Hillary Clinton that rains down negativity and corruption wherever she goes. So that's the State Department. At the Clinton Foundation, the investigation is still going forward, but there are possibilities that money laundering, pay-for-play, favor-mongering, racketeering, and bribery occurred under that cloud. And so, like I said, this corruption cloud just doesn't rain down on Hillary Clinton. It rains down anyone she comes into contact with. We've seen many members of our congressional body, and the list is growing. The list is growing during the past few years who have just been exposed for corruption. The two most recent examples are Chaka and Bob Menendez. Chaka has been indicted for racketeering, conspiracy, bribery, bank fraud, mail fraud, money laundering, false statements, and falsification of records. He's had to step down. He was a Clinton Superdelegate. He had to step down. Bob Menendez has been indicted. He is not yet convicted, but he has been indicted for bribery, conspiracy, and false statements, and he is also a Clinton Superdelegate. But the question is, do we think that they are the only ones? At Wikipedia, and I'm going to leave a link to the full list in the description. There is a list of superdelegates for the Democrat Party who are planning to vote for either Bernie Sanders or Hillary Clinton to go to the highest office in the land. And I actually went to that list because I said it's important to know who endorsed for Hillary Clinton prior to the end of the primary season. I wanted to know which of the superdelegates pledged their loyalty to Hillary Clinton, a corrupt person with a cloud over her, with felony investigations, and then also accusations of other types of law breaking hanging over her. I wanted to know who pledged their loyalty to her even before the primary was over. I took that list of superdelegates and narrowed it down to Hillary Clinton superdelegates, and then I narrowed that list down to members of Congress only. I decided to exclude the Clinton superdelegates who were governors, retired from public service, who are DNC members, and lobbyists. Why did I do that? The reason is my focus is on members of Congress only. That means House of Representatives or senators. So representatives or senators who endorsed Hillary Clinton before the end of the primary season. I wanted to know who they were because I'm suspicious. If you're not suspicious around Hillary Clinton, it's probably because you're asleep. But anyway, the reason why I narrowed that list down to members of Congress only is because of the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Members of Congress are the only thing standing between you, me, all U.S. workers, the environment, human rights groups, labor standards, our safety, and our consumer protection. Our members of Congress are the only ones standing between us and the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Barack Obama has already signed. It takes members of Congress a majority to ratify that. So it's the members of Congress who are our last gauntlet to get through before we are inflicted with wage and debt slavery, with no protection and no ability to get out of the game. So only Congress am I looking at. And the reason why I decided to do this was as a direct result of Barbara Lee, Luis Gutierrez, and Alicia Reese, who is a state representative, so she's not on that list. But Barbara Lee and Luis Gutierrez, because they went ahead and acted against the people in their districts who are against fracking and the Trans-Pacific Partnership, and just allowed support for the Trans-Pacific Partnership to remain in this document. So now we have to look at our Congress because of them. They laid down, rolled over, played dead for Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton. They decided to represent Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama rather than the people in their districts, rather than the people of the United States. The Sanders Superdelegates I excluded as well, because Bernie Sanders is anti-TPP, therefore his superdelegates are anti-TPP. For instance, Keith Ellison just came right out and said, we need to take TPP out of this document. He was voted down, unfortunately, but there is no need to include Sanders superdelegates in this list that I'm looking at. I also decided to exclude the superdelegates who remain neutral and uncommitted to either Bernie Sanders or Hillary Rodham Clinton. These are the superdelegates who are representatives that decided they would remain uncommitted. I excluded them because I felt that they are thinkers, they're more cautious, and that they weren't really sold out or hoed out to Hillary Rodham Clinton and or Barack Obama. And so these are the exclusions, and the lobbyists and DNC members, who still go out of their way to disenfranchise voters, and, they're being dealt with as well by the state parties. So they're being taken care of. They're being neutralized by state parties who, come to see the error of allowing them unrestrained access to vote down citizens of the United States. Because that's an oligarchy. When a lobbyist or a member of a large corporation buys their way into our political system and has the ability to vote down citizens, that's an oligarchy. But they're being taken care of. So the list that I constructed are Hillary Clinton members of Congress who endorsed Hillary Clinton prior to the end of the primary season. That means that their loyalty is to her, that they'll lay down, roll over, and do whatever for Hillary Clinton without thought or regard for the people that they are supposed to represent. They made bad decisions. They've exhibited bad judgment all this primary season, so they need scrutiny. The list is going to be in the description, and you can look at it. It's a list constructed by state. Not by alphabetical order by name, it's by state. And so you can look at the members of your state. If you live in a particular state, you can evaluate the members of Congress in your state, the representatives and the senators, and just see where their head is on Trans-Pacific Partnership and fracking, but specifically on Trans-Pacific Partnership. We need to know what they're thinking, what their thoughts are. see whether any of them have issued any statements whatsoever regarding Trans-Pacific Partnership, whether positive or negative. If they have said anything positive, then they bear further scrutiny. If they've said they are against Trans-Pacific Partnership, and they've gone on record as saying that, then we'll let that statement rest as it is. But the third step, if they've said anything positive about Trans-Pacific Partnership, or you're just not sure or you're suspicious that they're flexible on that issue, there's a third step that needs to be taken. We need to see if they have any Chaka Fattahs or Bob Menendez tendencies. If there's any of that level of graft and or corruption in their public offices. Because, like I said, do we think Chaka Fattah and Bob Menendez are the only ones? With Hillary Clinton as the head of the Democrat Party, I say it's doubtful that they are the only ones. So we need to just take it one step further and see whether there are other members of our Congress that need to be forced to step down prior to the Democrat National Convention, prior to a vote on Trans-Pacific Partnership. We have less than a month. The Democrat National Convention is July 25th through July 28th. We have to scrutinize this list of superdelegates, possibly prevent them from voting for Hillary Clinton as superdelegates, and certainly prevent them from voting for the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Altogether, there's 212 of all the hundreds of superdelegates. I narrowed the list down to 212 who are Hillary Clinton endorsing prior to the end of the primary season, who are members of Congress and therefore have votes on Trans-Pacific Partnership. 2 are down. 2 out of 212 have already been taken care of. 1 has been indicted and convicted, and the other has been indicted. That means 210 remain. So again, that list is going to be in the description, and you can post your results in the comment section if you want to, or you can talk amongst yourselves. Just get some answers about where these people's heads are, what their judgment is, what their qualifications for the office is. If they've disqualified themselves from office, then no, they shouldn't have a superdelegate vote for Hillary Clinton, and they certainly shouldn't be voting on Trans-Pacific Partnership. Good luck, and I hope to hear from you. And it's a good way that we can make sure that we maintain our power. These public servants serve us. That's their job. If they're not serving us, they don't need to have that job. Good luck.